Is that your maiden speech?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to say something ever since I was released from Kumikado. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm raising a matter of national importance concerning with rampant NUP abductions in my area. That's none other than Kawempe North Constituency. Just recently, 3 days ago, 4 of our members of NUP were arrested and taken to unknown destinations. Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer from the Minister of Security, that is it a crime for being an NUP member? Secondly, are we experiencing a reign of terror in our country, Uganda? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We get the names of the people.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. One is called Umaru Magala and is a coordinator in my constituency, Kawempe North, NUP coordinator, Nambozo Shakira, and many others, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. So help me Allah. I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I will give a faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by the law established. So help me Allah.
Muhammad Ssegirinya? Is that your maiden speech?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to say something ever since I was released from Kumikado. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm raising a matter of national importance concerning with rampant NUP abductions in my area. That's none other than Kawempe North Constituency. Just recently, 3 days ago, 4 of our members of NUP were arrested and taken to unknown destinations. Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer from the Minister of Security, that is it a crime for being an NUP member? Secondly, are we experiencing a reign of terror in our country, Uganda? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We get the names of the people.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. One is called Umaru Magala and is a coordinator in my constituency, Kawempe North, NUP coordinator, Nambozo Shakira, and many others, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. So help me Allah. I, Ssegirinya Muhammad, swear in the name of Almighty Allah that I will give a faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by the law established. So help me Allah.
Muhammad Ssegirinya? Is that your maiden speech?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to say something ever since I was released from Kumikado. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm raising a matter of national importance concerning with rampant NUP abductions in my area. That's none other than Kawempe North Constituency. Just recently, 3 days ago, 4 of our members of NUP were arrested and taken to unknown destinations. Right Honorable Speaker, my prayer from the Minister of Security, that is it a crime for being an NUP member? Secondly, are we experiencing a reign of terror in our country, Uganda? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We get the names of the people.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. One is called Umaru Magala and is a coordinator in my constituency, Kawempe North, NUP coordinator, Nambozo Shakira, and many others, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Honourable members, Madam Speaker,
Prayer. Almighty God, who in infinite and prudential goodness have appointed us of leaders and parliaments for the social and just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with the benefit of your servants, who may be pleased to call the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessings descend upon the assembled, and God and may as in your presence, treat and consider all matter that shall come under their deliberation, in so just a manner has promoted honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests who have committed to your church. Item 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Honourable members, it is with a deep, heavy heart that we convene again here today to pay tribute to our own, our brother, our colleague, Honourable Ssegirinya, the MP of Kawempe Division North, who passed on yesterday. On behalf of Parliament of Uganda and on my own behalf, I relay our heartfelt condolence to the bereaved family, to the people of Kawempe North, to the Muslim fraternity, and to the Noob Party and the good with the people of Uganda. Honorable Ssegirinya was a very loving, friendly personality, had a loving personality. He was a servant leader who was loved by many people. Right from the time he was a councillor in KCCA, Mr. Ssegirinya, Honorable Ssegirinya, was always called Update. Everybody loved Ssegirinya. His work and generosity enabled the election of Honorable Ssegirinya to be in Parliament. Despite the short tenure he has lived as a legislator in the 11th Parliament, Honorable Ssegirinya served the people of Kawempe North with distinction. His record of advocacy for better living conditions and humanity was very clear. He was very particular and passionate on the healthcare services in Kawempe. I remember one time when he brought, was it a CT scan machine to Kawempe Hospital, and he brought ambulances and that kind of thing. We are all aware that Honorable Ssegirinya had been unwell for about 3 years. Parliament has all that record. And on a special note, I also want to thank Parliament because of what they've done to support Honorable Ssegirinya. The Parliamentary Commission took all the responsibility for meeting all the costs of Honorable Ssegirinya's medication in both in Kampala and Nairobi. We were hopeful that one day, one time, would be seated in this house together with the Honorable Ssegirinya, but God's timing is never our timing. He's no more. He's going to be with Allah. It's a sad day for us today as we bid farewell to Honorable Ssegirinya, whose remains are about to be brought in. The painful reality has now dawned onto us as brothers, as beloved colleagues, that death is so cruel and real. At any one time, any of us will be there. Any of us will be there. And when such a thing is happening, we all ought to be here to give a decent send-off to our colleague. There are no politics in this thing. We should never have politics when we have lost our own, because today it is me, tomorrow it is somebody else. Honorable members, we are all imperfect mortal beings whose final destiny is death. I therefore urge all of you to love each other, be there for each other, appreciate one another, irrespective of the weaknesses, shortcomings, or whichever. Let's be there for each other, and that is what we will be remembered for when we leave this world. When you look at what is happening today, you just know that death is real. Just imagine somebody was moving yesterday, Honorable Babadiri, just collapsed and died. That is also our colleague. She was with us here. So it is not something that is we should just look at and think it is only for a particular person. And as leaders, what lessons do we draw from Honorable Ssegirinya? Let us always put humanity first in whatever we do. Be friendly, be there for everybody. Mr. Honorable Ssegirinya was that person down to earth. As Parliament of Uganda, we want to condone with the family, with the friends of Honorable Ssegirinya, with the people of Kawempe North, with the Muslim fraternity, and with the NUP, National Unity Platform Party, and all Ugandans, because he was a national leader. May the Almighty Allah grant Honorable Ssegirinya eternal and perfect peace. And honorable members yesterday said we should be here by 9 because the fact that the late is a Muslim. We agreed we should be here by 9, and I don't know what could have happened, but we shall talk that one when we don't have visitors. Yes, next item.
The casket is transferred from the central lobby to the chamber. Honorable members, please rise. Honorable members, you may resume your seats. Item 5 on the order paper, motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad, former Member of Parliament, Kawempe Division North.
Honorable members, because we cannot leave a vacuum in the House, and the House is us, we will ask the most senior Muslim, Honorable Katuntu, to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as you rightly put it, I am moving this motion by virtue of being currently in the chambers to be the most senior. And I take it as an honor and a privilege. Right Honourable Speaker, this is a motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honourable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Member of Parliament, Kawempe Division North Constituency, Kampala City, for his dedicated service to the Republic of Uganda. Whereas Parliament has with deep sorrow lamented the death of Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Member of Parliament for Kawempe Division North Constituency, Kampala City, which occurred on the 9th of January 2025 at Rubaga Hospital in Kampala. Recognizing that the Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad lived an industrious life and thorough hard work, dedicated and perseverance, rose from humble beginnings to become a Member of Parliament. Further, recognizing that the Honorable Ssegirinya served in various capacities, including being Member of Parliament representing Kawempe Division North Constituency, Kampala City, to the time of his demise, Lord Councillor representing Kawempe North at State Hall in Kampala Capital City Authority from 2016 to 2021, International Coordinator of Love Uganda Foundation from 2016 to the time of his demise, and Director of Hope Children's Primary School from 2014 to the time of his demise. Appreciating that the Honorable Ssegirinya was deeply passionate about community mobilization, journalism, food security, especially in his constituency, as exemplified through his passionate advocacy for various causes, including
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you. I have been consulting with the law here over the issue of the order paper. Right Honourable Speaker, procedurally, motions of this nature are either moved by the Prime Minister and usually seconded by the law, or vice versa. I am now seeing the Prime Minister is not here, and the Leader of Opposition is here. In fact, the entire front bench, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to understand, and I'm not so sure who to ask, but I'll ask you, the head of the institution. Is this a message by government being sent that they are disinterested in the death of the Honourable Ssegirinya? The absence of the entire cabinet being absent, is it a demonstration that they are disinterested in the death, burial, and perhaps sickness and everything connected with the Honorable Ssegirinya? Do we proceed normally without this House recognizing the visible and loud absence of the central executive? And Right Honourable Speaker, you as the head of the institution, are you privy to any information as to why the executive is not here and why our colleague should not deserve the presence of the executive? Right Honourable Speaker, I think this House should take very strong exception to the absence of the front bench.
Thank you, honourable members. What I can request of you, let's mourn our brother in peace. I cannot be able to account for the front bench and for whoever is not here. Personally, I was here by 7. I have been here. That shows you that for me, I take the institution very serious. I take my members very serious. I have been here as early as very early. And that's why Honorable Loeb is going to speak about the motion. And in my discretion, it is me who chose Honorable Katuntu to avoid further shame.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I didn't realize I was getting in this controversy, but that notwithstanding, I thought nature abhors a virtue. And when there is a virtue, we have to feel it and proceed. Because we cannot afford to say, well, government is not here, so what? I mean, the reason why some of us are here is to make sure if things are not moving correct, we try to do our best to improvise the whole proceeding. After all, Right Honourable Speaker, I have, as you know, I am the chairman of the Rules Committee. There is no rule that says motions of this nature are moved by government. It is purely a practice. And if this practice has a problem, let us fill in the virtue and proceed and pay tribute to our late colleague. Right Honourable Speaker, if I may proceed, appreciating that the Honourable Ssegirinya was deeply passionate about community mobilization, journalism, and food security, especially in his constituency, as exemplified through passionate advocacy of various causes, including community mobilization for health services through the construction of Kawempe North Hospital, from which his constituents and Ugandans accessed free health care services, fundraising for his constituents during the COVID-19 pandemic, and protection and promotion of rights of the less privileged Ugandans to access free to air television channels during the 2015 migration from analog broadcasting to digital platforms. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this House as follows: that Parliament collectively conveys its deep condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and the people of Uganda for the loss of a distinguished citizen of this country. Parliament takes cognizance of the dedicated service and contribution that Honourable Ssegirinya has rendered to the people of Uganda in general and in particular the people of Kawempe Division North Constituency. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? Is the motion seconded by Leader of Opposition, by the Government Chief Whip, by Constitutional Affairs, by Opposition Chief Whip, sorry, by Honourable Christine, by the whole House, by Honourable Katesh, Sarah, Donald, Ivanda, Macho, the Imam of Parliament, Abdu, Karim, Hassan. I'm looking for the Muslims. By Lutamaguzi, Asumani, by Honourable Mpoga, by Honourable Yeri, Honourable Akifensa, by Honourable Eseno, Honourable Isaac, Honourable Margaret, Honourable Kelea, Honourable Jocelyn, Honourable Obanga, Honorable Baka, Honorable Buheshu, Honorable Betty, Honorable Judith, Honorable Idi Savirie, Honorable Solomon, Honorable Dr. Boka, Honorable Noelin, Honorable Kibalia, Honorable Moses, Honorable Kindombere, Honorable Eddie Quizera, Honorable Sam, Honorable Margaret Workers, Honorable Attikins, Honorable Pear, Honorable Zake, Honorable Hilary, Hithel, Goretti, Asinansi, Honorable Nsanja, Fortunate, Mitiana, Kasanda, Alan, Honorable Alan again, Honorable Dennis, Aloysius Gold. Haven't I mentioned all your names? Would you love to speak to your motion?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the country learnt of the sad and unfortunate demise and the unfortunate news of the passing of the Honourable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Member of Parliament for Kawempe North Division constituency. The Honourable Ssegirinya has been unwell for some time, as you already know, and has been under the care of many hospitals. But breathed his last from Rubaga Hospital at 12:10 p.m. on Thursday, 9th January 2025, that is yesterday. The Honourable Ssegirinya was born on the 17th of January 1987 in Butale, Kadugala, Masaka district. He rose to prominence as a politician and a business person. Colleagues, the late Ssegirinya started his studies from Kadugala Primary School and later went to Kadugala Secondary School and Pimba Secondary School in Chebando for secondary school education. He holds a certificate in urban food experience from Netherlands. At the time of his death, colleagues, he has been pursuing a bachelor's degree in social work and social administration at the Islamic University in Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Ssegirinya started his public life and service to his country as a political activist at a very young age. He later became a councillor representing Kawempe Division at Kampala Capital City Authority, where he served from 2016 to 2021. He was elected a Member of Parliament for Kawempe North Division and has been part of the 11th Parliament up to date. Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable colleagues, the Honourable Muhammad Ssegirinya has been a loving husband, father to 8 children, and supported many other children who are not his. The Right Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Ssegirinya will be remembered for his tireless dedication to public service. He always stood for his people and endeavored to work on the issues affecting the people around him. He passionately supported the women's economic independence through, among other things, establishing a savings circle group called the Cheva and the Community Development Association, which supported women-owned small and medium enterprises. He also participated in the promotion of community health care by establishing a health facility called Kawempe.
At least you can clap for what he has done, because not all of us do that.
By establishing a health facility called Kawempe North Medical Center. He was as well an international coordinator of Love Uganda Foundation from 2016 to the time of his demise, and director of Hope Children Primary School from 2014 to the time of his demise. I would like to thank the Honourable Speaker for according this great statesman a befitting sitting in this House as the law provides, and also His Excellency the President for his support to Hon Ssegirinya through the Parliament of Uganda. The government of Uganda paid the medical bills of Hon Ssegirinya during the course of his treatment, particularly when he was hospitalized at Aga Khan Hospital. Maybe it is fair to mention the figure, which rose to the tune of 939,268,000. This excludes other medical costs paid by government to the US and Uganda. Government wishes to extend its profound sympathies to the family, the people of Kawempe North, and the people of Uganda. Given the nature that I was trying to fill the vacuum, I'll say something outside this official statement. Colleagues, Honorable Ssegirinya is a reflection that in this country, you can rise from obscurity to significance. If you watched the media yesterday, 2 hours on television was dedicated to the Honorable Ssegirinya. Maybe not many of us would have that sort of airtime. Why? Because of the significance of his contribution to the political process of this country. In this country, Right Honorable Speaker, everything is possible. You can dream big and achieve big. And indeed, the Honorable Ssegirinya did exactly that. You may not realize, but even if you're a professor with 5 degrees, 7 degrees, it's possible you will not have one Kawempe North Division constituency. Education may not be everything. Even if you are as rich as Sudid, you may not have one Kawempe North Division constituency. With Ssegirinya as a competitor. He beat all odds. Humble beginning, less education, not all that moneyed, but somehow he rose to the top. He dreamed big and he achieved big. Right Honorable Speaker, there are lessons to learn, and you don't have to have read so much. The politics of today, Honorable Ssegirinya knew it better than those who are even educated, more educated than him. Muhammad, rest in peace. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Haji Katonto. Before I call the law to second the motion, I would love to introduce our visitors in the VIP gallery. We have in the VIP gallery this morning, we have a delegation from the National Unity Platform leadership comprising of Mr. Rubongoya, David Lewis. You're most welcome. Thank you for coming. He's the Secretary General of NOP. We have Mr. Nyansi Fred Sentamu, Head of Mobilization Chairman. Chairman, you're most welcome. We have Honorable Nabatas Farida, Head of Mobilization Central. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. They are here to watch the proceedings of this special sitting. And remember, by midday, we should have finished because the body will be going to the mosque. We also have, in the VIP gallery, we have members of the family. We have the mother, Madame Nakajumba Justine, Mama. That is the mother. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry for the loss. Tola. Then we have Mr. Bukenya Joseph, the brother. That is the uncle. the uncle to late Ssegirinya. We have Mr. Kasanga Bosco Mawada. That is the brother, cousin. We have Mr. Walugembe Robert, a brother to Honorable Ssegirinya. We have Nachuwewa Maria, is a sister. Most welcome. We have Namaganda Viola, a sister. We have Nabayunga Oliver. Nabayunga Oliver, sister. We have Ndiba Rita, sister. We have Naiga Ruth, sister. We have Shifra Ssegirinya, a daughter. We have Bukenya Ivan, the son. We have Namaganda Sadia, daughter. We have Nabugala Aliyah, daughter. We have Nabu Shamim, daughter. We have Ssegirinya Aliyah, daughter. We have Ssegirinya Ibra, son. We will continue introducing them as I get updates. Honorable Lop.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I rise to second the motion to pay tribute to our colleague, the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya. And perhaps before I do that, I also wish to express my disappointment. The Deputy Prime Minister has just walked in. Before that, there was no one on the front bench. Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday, I reached out to you intending to move this motion, given that Honorable Ssegirinya was one of us. The guidance I got was practice normally is the Prime Minister moves the motion and the Lop seconds, something that I was very comfortable with. In fact, I was glad that the motion would be moved by somebody from the government side. It was bothersome that this morning there was no one from government to move the motion. That's very disappointing. And to appreciate colleagues from the NRM who are here. Honorable Ssegirinya was an opposition member, but you're here, as we normally do. We have lost several MPs in this 11th Parliament. May God help us, by the way. May God help us. But we are normally united in these times. Majority of those who have died belong to the opposition, I mean the NRM, but we are always here, even as the opposition, in solidarity of colleagues. We quarrel and argue about so many things because we don't agree politically and so on. But then we are colleagues. And in death, that's why we normally are united. So, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, please convey my utmost disappointment in the Prime Minister and your colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker,
at least appreciate the Speaker was here early.
The Speaker is neutral and doesn't debate. That's why I've not involved the Speaker in my disappointment. I wanted it to settle where it should.
Honorable Prime Minister, that's a very serious message. And I really want you to relay that message. Because when we're in this house, we are one. Please.
All right. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, as I said, I am seconding the motion to pay tribute to our fallen comrade, the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Member of Parliament for Kawempe North constituency, who passed on after a very long battle with illness. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to extend commiserations to the family of the Honorable Ssegirinya, the people of Kawempe North constituency, the National Unity Platform, party he belonged to and loved, and indeed the entire country on the demise of the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya. Honorable Speaker, death is a painful aspect of life, regardless of the age at which one passes on. However, losing a youthful legislator at 37 years of age who had huge dreams and aspirations is so tragic. Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya grew up in a humble family, as we all know, as he had always talked about, and faced various challenges that shaped his life. Despite limited resources, he prioritized education and engaged in community activities. Honorable Ssegirinya was still studying at the time of his death. Some of us think when we get to Parliament, we have arrived. But he said, I'll keep adding knowledge. That's how hungry he was for knowledge. His experiences deepened his understanding of issues affecting ordinary Ugandans, fueling his passion for activism and advocacy for a better country. Honorable Ssegirinya's journey from grassroots involvement to national recognition showcases his resilience and ability to connect with diverse people, earning him respect in Uganda's political landscape. Honorable Ssegirinya first gained public attention through his participation in Kampala-based radio talk shows. His frequent spirited calls to these shows earned him recognition as Ssegirinya Eddoboozi ly'Ekyebando, translating to Ssegirinya, the voice of Kyebando. During these radio engagements, he would refer to himself as MP2B. Each time he would call, he would say, Ssegirinya Muhammad, Eddoboozi ly'Ekyebando, MP2B. And this was in the early 2000s, over 15 years before he would eventually become a legislator. This speaks of the fact that when one is resilient and steadfast, it is possible to achieve one's aspirations. When one is resilient and steadfast, it's possible for one to achieve their aspirations. In 2016, he was elected as the Lord Councillor for Kawempe North in Kampala Capital City Authority. He used this position and platform to advocate for social justice and community development. His vibrant personality and commitment to grassroots issues endeared him to many people. During the 2021 elections, Honorable Ssegirinya contested for the parliamentary seat of Kawempe North under the National Unity Platform and won overwhelmingly. He set out to serve his people in various ways, especially healthcare, filling the gaps that were created by government. Things that we do as members of parliament, which should be done by government, buying ambulances, building healthcare centers, fundraisings. Colleagues normally call us for fundraisings, both opposition and the government side. Fundraising for a government health center, fundraising for this and that. Things that should be taken care of government. But here we are. And Honorable Ssegirinya was filling those gaps as a member of parliament. Unfortunately, not long after he had joined this august house, he was arrested and jailed for a long period of time over the Bijambia Panga attacks on the population of Masaka region, which saw the killing of many Ugandans. And to date, Right Honorable Speaker, justice eludes the bereaved families because the question of who killed their loved ones has never been answered. To date. While in prison, Honorable Ssegirinya got severely sick, and his condition kept deteriorating by the day. He was constantly denied bail, as we all saw, even though his condition was worrisome. Even when government doctors recommended specialized treatment for him that warranted him to be granted bail, the judge still sent him back to prison, where he continued to worsen each passing day. His lawyers made a plea and produced before court medical records signed by government doctors saying this man should be released on bail to go and get specialized treatment. The judge said, no, go back to jail. After a while, Honorable Ssegirinya was granted bail only for him to be abducted outside Kigo prison by gun-wielding men in plain clothes, in total violation of our country's laws. This disregard for the rule of law continues unabated in our country, and as we have witnessed, it affects all of us, including colleagues on the government side, as you have seen very recently, we must jointly castigate this and call for its end. Many Ugandans have been abducted in similar manner, and to date, they are still missing. All this is in a country which prides itself in following constitutionalism. We should be ashamed of these acts. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the denial of bail to Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya feeds into the recent narrative by General Yoweri Museveni lately. He has called for denial of bail and even police bond, something which is not in tandem with our constitutional order. While bail and police bond may not be mandatory, directing judicial officers and police officers not to give them to those before them is unbecoming and should be condemned by us all, because we are all potential victims. Colleagues, we are all potential victims. As we send off Honorable Ssegirinya, may we commit to respect the rule of law, because he suffered due to the disregard for the rule of law. Of late, we have seen threats by our country's Chief of Defense Forces, General Hon Ssegirinya Muhammad, threatening our neighboring countries, including Kenya, South Sudan, DRC, and the threats have extended to his colleagues in the military and even leaders in this country. He, for example, threatened to behead and even eliminate the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, a former member of this House and the leader of the National Unity Platform. This is abhorring and unacceptable. I hope that we can all condemn this and demand for action, because this is not acceptable. While the state continues to disregard these issues and trivialize them, the country suffers disregard for the rule of law. All right-thinking Ugandans should strive for constitutionalism and respect for our country's laws, something Honorable Ssegirinya was very passionate about. Let's fight for our laws. Let's fight for the Constitution before the Constitution is too weak to defend us, because that time of reckoning will come, regardless who you are, when you need it to fight for you. If you don't fight for it now, it will not be present to fight for you, regardless who you are, by the way. Rest in peace, Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Mr. Update. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Lob. Can I have, I still have a seconder. I still have a seconder. I have the independent seconding first. Yes, Father.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to join you and the colleagues in paying tribute to our friend. Death is an inescapable reality that no one can delegate a person to go and die on his or her behalf. We cannot postpone our own death. Humanity death is as old as humanity, and humanity has never gotten used to death. No one can mock the demise of another person. In the African society, solidarity was highly upheld, and I believe even up to this time, solidarity must still be appreciated when we lose a colleague, a friend, even an enemy. I was reading in the social media yesterday, somebody was saying, you should never annoy a system. You can annoy a person because a human being has conscience. And once his selfish ego has been satisfied, he can find in his heart, in his mind, a space to forgive. But a system will never forgive you. And if Ssegirinya happened to annoy the system, I still beg that the system should find a space to forgive this man. He has already gone. The one who moved the motion, which I'm here to second, concluded by saying, may your soul rest in peace. The leader of opposition also spoke the same word, may his soul rest in peace. What is this word, rest in peace? Rest in peace, it is a Latin word. It is derived from the Latin word, which means rescate in parse. It means an idiom meaning the person has fought the good war, has won the race, and is to go and rest in peace. A lot has been spoken of our friend, about our friend, the good things he did in the mighty constituency of Kawempe. And I believe no another leader after him may actually do exactly, or those who will come after him may do what he has actually done to the people of Kawempe. Right Honorable Speaker, some 2-3 years ago, I met at the entrance of our parliament a lady being supported to walk up into parliament. And later somebody pointed to me that that was the mother. This is the mother of the Honorable Ssegirinya. And I think, Right Honorable Speaker, this woman was coming not looking for bread, but for the breadwinner, her breadwinner, to find justice. And justice was not given to her son. Mommy, Allah is the good judge. In the Holy Bible and also in Quran, especially in the book of Prophet Isaiah 57 verse 2, he has found the place of his rest. And I believe the Honorable Ssegirinya has found a place of his rest. All the achievements he has done, the eulogy is being given by his colleagues, with the exception of his enemies. I believe it is a credit on his side, and truly he will find rest, he will find peace. Uganda is bleeding. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to accept this. Uganda is bleeding, the country is bleeding. And I don't know when will this country find the right bandage to bandage the wounds of this country, of Ugandans. We are living in wounds. Everyone finds joy in hurting another person. Much as they say politics is a dirty game, we should be the sanitizers of politics. We should find the right detergent to sanitize politics. Otherwise, I want to pray for the soul, for the peaceful repose of my brother, the Honorable Ssegirinya, to rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Father Nen. Hajat, we are opening the debate. I'll give you. Let Hajat finish.
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you will excuse me, I'm sick. But I want to bring apologies on the behalf of government. I was called this morning at around 8, and I was told that we are supposed to move the motion at 10. So because I was sick, I decided to start preparing myself. When it was approaching 9, somebody called me from your office and told me it is 9. So that was miscommunication on time. So I'll apologize on behalf of government that it was not intentional. And it was...
Ajat, I don't want to believe. Ajat, I don't want to believe on miscommunication because I would take the responsibility. The order paper is very clear. And when I adjourned the House yesterday, I said we are adjourning to 9. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Let us take the blame. But because I'm saying that I was sick, I was not here in the House, so I'm saying I'm apologizing. And in addition to that, I want to say, in our religion, we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raj'un. May the soul of Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya rest in peace. I thank you.
Amen. Amen. Honorable members, when we are paying tribute like this, let's avoid those things. Let's send our friend in peace. And we'll send him in peace. Cow?
Madam Speaker, I would like to join colleagues in supporting the motion to pay glowing tribute to the fallen colleague, the Member of Parliament of Kawempe North, the Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad. Madam Speaker, some genius coined an adage, and I want to say it verbatim, that the greatest loss in life is not death, but that dies inside us while we are still living this curse. Speaker, when you see the conspicuous absence of the front bench, save for the two honorable ministers, it speaks volumes. It throws egg on the face of government, but also speaks volumes about this particular adage that I have just quoted. Honestly, death is non-partisan. It has no side. In death is when you would expect us to be united. We expected a concerted effort of the entire House to give a decent send-off of our colleague. But it's rather unfortunate, Madam Speaker, that this has happened to this House. Moreover, in the past, it has not been the case. Madam Speaker, some genius also coined something which looks...
Yes, an order. Hajat.
Yeah, they have not granted.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members. Honorable members.
The presiding...
Honorable members. You'll allow me excuse Hajat to go out?
Yes.
Please.
Madam Speaker, I was putting the House in order to allow the Madam
No,
Prime
she's
Minister to go out
not
because
well.
she was
She's
over
not well.
coughing. I was worried of the infection. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
No, I realize. That's why I've sent.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was alluding to another quotation.
Honorable members, let's try to speak faster so that a number of people speak. We have only 1 hour to go.
Okay. Madam Speaker, let me delve
I am not the one determining.
Written eulogy. The country mourns a spirited patriot, an incredible politician, an activist, a father, and a selfless leader who dedicated all his life prioritizing the interests of the people. Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, fondly known as Mr. Update, has left an indelible mark on the people of Kawempe North and Uganda at large. His journey from a casual, energetic, social media enthusiast to a member of parliament was nothing short of an inspiration. In the year 2021 elections, the Honorable Ssegirinya contested for the Kawempe North parliamentary seat and won it, defeating seasoned politicians. During the first 3 months of his tenure, he has taunted many by achieving remarkable milestones, including the construction of a hospital for the underprivileged in his constituency. He also launched the Sec Box campaign, a savings initiative targeting low-income earners. By promoting a culture of saving, the initiative have uplifted thousands of struggling families and has become a cornerstone of his legacy, Madam Speaker. his passion for social justice, rooted in his upbringing and personal encounters with injustice, saw him protest over unfair taxes and unjust government policies. For instance, in the year 2015, while still a councillor for Chebando at Kampala Capital City Authority, the Honorable Ssegirinya was arrested at Parliamentary Avenue, just very close to this building, for protesting over digital migration by carrying a television set on his head to the office of the then State Minister of ICT, the Honorable Nyombi Temple. His major concern was the government's interference with the right to access information on the TVs free of charge. The Honorable Ssegirinya argued that it is government's role the world over to give information to people without any cost, whereas less privileged Ugandans were to be cut off on air for not buying decoders following the digital migration policy. We appreciate him. And Madam Speaker, may his soul, the soul of our beloved colleague, settle in eternal peace.
Thank you. Youth, Minister of Youth.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. It is sad we lost a friend. Honourable Ssegirinya was my friend, and I will remember him for his tireless advocacy for the right of the marginalized community, especially his people in Chebando. His fearless and outspoken criticism of social injustice and human rights abuses. I will also remember him for his passionate representation of the people of Chebando and Kawempe in Parliament, his commitment to fighting for the welfare and well-being of his constituents, his unwavering dedication to principles of justice, equality, and freedom, his role as a vocal and influential leader in the National Unity Platform, NUP Party, his ability to inspire and mobilize young people from Chebando to take action and also demand for change, which he never achieved. His courage in face of refusal to be silenced or intimidated as government and on behalf of government, and as someone who believes and supports everyone's equality. I apologize for all the mismanagement that could have happened during his life when he was on earth, and I believe we should do better. We should do better going forward. We should allow criticism where need be, and I pray his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Mehdi.
Okay.
Honorable Mehdi.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world, most gracious, most merciful. It is He, the Almighty Allah, who has been explicit in Surah Al-Mulk, the surah that glorifies His might. And it says, and I will translate, تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي هلك الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. That blessed be to the one Almighty Allah, in whose hands rests all the authority, and He who is most capable. And that it's He, Allah, who has created life and death, that all humanity shall endure, and he says shall endure, in order to serve as a test to all of us. In many different surahs or chapters of the Quran, Allah has been explicit as he spoke about the journey that we are all going to take. And he says clearly, death is inevitable to all that are there. It's not a law, because laws we can sit here and amend anytime. But death is a must that no human being shall evade. And Allah says that we shall test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and loss of life. Therefore, death is a test, for which test shall only be passed by those who leave behind in perseverance, and those that retain patience and do good things. Every passing on of a comrade or of an individual is a testimony to those that stay behind, that what shall be spoken about you. Honorable Ssegirinya, today on the topic, Ya Muhammad Rabban. When I knew you as a young man, you are called Richard, and you stepped forward and told us that I've seen the light and I would like to join Islam. And he gave the Shahada, and he said, indeed, I believe there is one God, that is Allah, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. And he was welcomed with pure hands. This pure soul lying here today did not turn back. But he did one noble thing. He did not break his umbilical cord from his relatives. Because keeping blood relations, even when you change religion, is a sign of worship in Islam. And even when you convert and you turn your back against the people that fed you, the people that raised you, is a sin in Islam. He did not break that tie with his mother, with his uncles, with his brothers, and neither did he do so with his children. Therefore, he lived by actions, trying to induce others to join the path that he joined, but he did not coerce them to see the light. In all he said, as I saw him as a young man, he was a radio caller. You know, these callback people on the radio. And he used to say, Honorable, one time I would like to be a member of parliament. And I told him, Honorable Ssegirinya, it takes steps. He said, I'll jump all those steps. So he tried first in 2011. I told him, you will not go through, and he'll bear witness when he stood against Honorable Latif Sebagar. Then he came back and he asked me what happened. I told him, you're fit to be a councillor. Then he said, in 2016, I'll vie to be a councillor. Now I'll follow you. I'll heed to your advice. Indeed, he heeded too. He went and contested and tried to seek the FDC party ticket, to no avail. He came back to me and jokingly he said, I have no ticket. I told him, it's not the ticket, it's the people. Go to the people. By then he wanted to get the symbol of the clock. He went there, it was not available. On the first nomination day, he came back and said, I don't have the clock. I told him, go and pick whatever symbol is there. He chose the table. Then he said, but I'm too short. People will think I'm a joker. I told him, use the table to your advantage. Fabricate a table, go to every trading center and stand on the table. And tell the people, when things go wrong, I'll stand on this table and you'll see me as high as possible, passing on your message. Indeed, finally when, and on a lighter note, finally when everyone had realized that Ssegirinya was taking this vote, the FDC candidate moved around with the microphone saying, I'm Ssegirinya Muhammad, please vote for me. I'm the one with the symbol of the key. So Ssegirinya ran back to me and said, there is something wrong. This person is saying he's Ssegirinya Muhammad, but vote for the key. You know, the symbol of the key. So I told him, get a microphone and go back with the table everywhere and tell them it's Ms. Ssegirinya Muhammad, the one on the table. Indeed, he did so, and he came out to be victor as an independent for the first time. Having arrived at KCC, one of the lightweight stories, he contested to be speaker of KCC. He contested with the Honorable Kawalia here. And Ssegirinya Muhammad got 1 vote, which was his vote. Then he said, this world is really very fun. Even the people that nominated me did not vote for me. But he said, it doesn't matter. History will record that a courageous gentleman called Ssegirinya once stood to be speaker of KCCA and had 2 nominees, but only got 1 vote, which was he was sure was his own vote. So history must register now that there was a courageous man who took a step and never thought failure was the end of life. Failing at times is one style of training us to be better. Finally, I would like to thank his party for having come out boldly to grant him the ticket to run as MP Kawempe North. He fairly deserved it. He went through a lot that we all knew, but let me talk about this, Right Honorable Speaker. The discretion of court in granting bail. I pray, and I would like to address this to all politicians. Please, let us not try to interfere with the works of courts of laws in using their discretionary principles in adjudication of court matters as regards matters of bail. Because bail is one of the rights, is one of the processes where people acquire a free and fair trial. And having this temporary freedom probably would have helped this gentleman go and try to seek medical attention. He would not have gotten lost. But finally, we have him here. And it's us to talk about it here and then and then and that. I think we can do better. I know there are those that do crime, and courts will pass judgment on that person that should not be in society, and that person that should be let to be out and, carry on their court matters while having access to doing their work or being out, having temporary freedom. Therefore, finally, Right Honorable Speaker, from Allah we came, and from Allah we shall all return.
Thank you.
May Allah receive your soul and forgive you for whatsoever you did wrong, Honorable Ssegirinya, and grant you Jannat Firdaus. May peace be upon all of you.
Thank you, Alan. Honorable Alan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank Parliament for according that gentleman right there this tribute. I stand here in seconding the motion on the floor of Parliament to pay tribute to Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad. Madam Speaker, the gentleman who is standing there, who is lying there, was my friend, at least in his later days of life, because we spent 2 years almost under incarceration. We talked together for all those days. We talked about so many things with him. Before the incarceration, I had not spent 20 minutes with Honorable Ssegirinya, apart from this politics of ours of the opposition, of sharing dreams together, of leading this country, and we would talk about it on radios and in rallies, political rallies. But when I sat with him for 2 years, I realized something, that the people had another picture of Honorable Ssegirinya, yet he was another person. The Honorable was seen to be doing things crafted like comedy, but he was very serious in nature in doing his things. He was a very intelligent man who could tell you things and those things could happen. He was a genuine man who had that genuine love for every person. He said that he loves him. He was an ardent supporter of change for this nation, not because he disliked those who lead this country in person, but their policies, because he grew up as a poor man in a poor family. He hardly spent 2 or 3 years with his father because his father died at a younger age and he was a soldier of this government. And that impacted so much on his brain, being fatherless and the father dying under unclear circumstances. He tried so much to come to Kampala through so many means, Madam Speaker, to fight for his dreams. But what disturbed him so much was about our incarceration, that after standing on the tables, after talking so much to see to it that he scores that goal he wanted so much, to be a member of parliament in this country, there came uncertainties and the fate fell on us. He said, in his own words, that what would I want after being a member of parliament? I am a poor man from a poor family. I'm going to earn close to 25 million, because for him he thought it was to be 25 million. I can now touch 5 million at once. Now what would I want next? But because I wanted to serve my people so well, there might be envy somewhere that I predict as a person. He was someone who would joke, Madam Speaker, as a person. He would crack jokes and we would laugh for almost 2 years. But again, I also put my voice on those members of parliament who have mentioned it clear, and the public at large, that the right to a fair hearing entails a right to bail, because everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This man, after only 2 days, he started complaining of his chronic sickness that he had before incarceration. And he wanted to seek for medical attention in Germany because he was coming from Germany for such. And he had been prepared for another day for treatment by a specialist who was coming from India to China, to Germany in some hospital. And that chance wasn't given to him because of denial of bail. Madam Speaker, I thank you for your support to this gentleman, especially during all those times we were under incarceration. But I again cry to this government that today Honorable Ssegirinya is lying there. Everyone knows that the government cannot go away from this, because the Honorable, if he had got that medical attention earlier, even government wouldn't have spent 900 million. It would be him to facilitate his own medication, and he would be alive today. But because of that and such politics that we have in this country, that is why that gentleman is lying there. If you look at his children, they are too young to lose a father who was very courageous, who has gone through hell to have something on table for his children and the mother. Madam Speaker, it should come from all voices of courage, whatsoever the party you belong to call for better leadership of this country in a united way. Honorable Ssegirinya, we shared so much, we talked so much in person. I know that you went to God, an unsatisfied man, because it wasn't your time to go. But because of politics, you have gone.
Thank
Rest
you.
in peace, Honorable Ssegirinya. Fight harder,
Thank
Honorable.
you. Thank you. Eddie. Eddie.
Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, thank you very much. Colleagues, what we forget is that in every situation and in humanity that ever happens, that you must learn a lesson, and that lesson must help you to live better. If we know that we should fear God, we should know what God wants, which is not easy. That's why we should always respect one another. Secondly, the second thing is that life. People who study about life. Everybody has his own line. So, as long as we know that there is God, and there is life, and there is also life after death, I believe that Honorable Ssegirinya, who is lying there, feared God, and as members of parliament and as government, we should know that what we are doing, does it please God? If we do things that don't please God, then we may not have space where we say that we shall be there and life will be better.
Thank you.
I thank you very much. May He always in peace.
Katesh.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I stand here to support the motion to pay tribute to a colleague who has passed on. And I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for being our leader, because you have been there for the members of Parliament, both in hard and good times. You have not abandoned your members. I want to extend my condolences to the people of Kawempe, whom he has been leading, and to the parents and relatives. Death is non-partisan. We have lost a colleague, and I really thank members who have come to pay tribute, because it's all our journey, regardless of our disagreements on this earth. I did not know Honorable Ssegirinya so much. We just met in Parliament here. But the impact he made on the people of Kawempe, and all of us who followed the news yesterday, I think very few of us can summon the kind of attention that he received. In one way, I want to thank my friend, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Baram, for the statement you have made, because I think you acknowledge that there could have been some learning points for us that we should pick as the people of Uganda, so that we can live in harmony amidst our disagreements and be respectful to one another. I thank him for the work he did, and to the people of Kawempe, I think you will remember him for the good things he has done, and let us continue to be there for each other as members of Parliament, because we represent the people of Uganda. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Haji Idi. Haji Idi Baka. Then we have Honorable Mpoga, Hassan. The chairman, you'll speak later.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. And honourable colleagues, I join the rest in supporting the motion that pays
Let's have
tribute
2 minutes.
to our colleague, Honorable Ssegirinya. On behalf of the people of Bunya County South, behalf of the people of Soga, and on my own behalf, I rise to pay tribute to the distinguished servant of the people. But Honorable Speaker, personally, I did not spend a lot of time here with Honorable Ssegirinya. I surely don't have a lot of history and story to tell about Honorable Ssegirinya, but I have, just like any other Ugandan, been following Honorable Ssegirinya as a common man of the people, as a servant of the people, and as a councillor, just like the motion has stated, his service to his people. Right Honorable Speaker, being born is an opportunity, but death is a must. And every one of us here has to travel this journey, because death is a journey that has to be traveled by everyone. Now that Honorable Ssegirinya has traveled his journey, and today we are here paying tribute to what he did for his country. I want to say this on behalf of my people and to say, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to join you and the House and the country in paying tribute to a son of Uganda, the Honorable Ssegirinya, who passed on. Madam Speaker, I never got an opportunity to interact with the Honorable Ssegirinya, but I was a keen follower of all his works from around 2016, after he had become a councillor. I particularly remember all the instances whenever the Dr. Kizza Besigye would appear anywhere in the country, Honorable Ssegirinya would be right behind on any function, and that captured my attention. Not because I'm a supporter of Besigye, but I wondered, a young man who was passionate about supporting his party, to the extent that whether the function was in Uganda or outside Uganda, Ssegirinya would be there. We miss a young man who was very vibrant, full of dreams. He had a passion for his people, a love for his people that is unmatched, and the people of Kawempe have lost an icon. It is so sad that he has passed on very young. He had big dreams, but I want to thank the Honorable Katuntu for putting it very correctly and rightly, that in this country, if you dream, you can reach your dream. And that was the Honorable Ssegirinya, who dreamt big, and he reached Parliament as he dreamed. It is so sad that we have lost him. Finally, Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for your dedication to this House and to your members. We are so grateful that we have you, and we thank you for affording an opportunity.
Switch on.
I want to thank you finally for granting an opportunity and for convincing the family, because the Islams normally don't allow this. But you convinced, I think, the family to allow that the country pays this tribute to the Honorable Ssegirinya. We are so grateful that he has been brought here and he has been granted a tribute that he deserves. Thank you so much. May his soul rest in peace.
One thing is, Honorable Ssegirinya was a very, very good fan of women. So can I first hear from Wopa? Then I come over. Wopa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My condolences to the family, the people of Kawempe, this Parliament, the people of Masaka, and Uganda as a whole. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya spent a very short time in this House. And yesterday, when I was watching NTV, it was more of a documentary, watching his works and the short time that he was actually in this House. I kept wondering, supposing Ssegirinya had not been in prison, what kind of person would he have been? What more would we have seen that, well, what could he have done beyond what we have watched in just this short time? And it saddened me that the people who elected him did not actually see much of what he would have done for them. I actually want to applaud him and thank him for his dedication and support to the women in putting up that health facility at Kawempe. He actually also ensured that every mother that gave birth at this facility went home with a box, a SEGI box, a savings box with, I believe, some startup capital. That was support to a woman. I also want to thank him.
Honorable members, clap for SEGI on that. Who of you have done that?
Even in putting up that, Right Honorable Speaker, he encouraged mothers to deliver at the health facility. And this was actually free of charge. That is actually maternal health. That is support to a mother. I also watched him on several occasions. Can I just conclude? Taking food to the vulnerable, and most of them were actually women. So I want to applaud him and thank him for that. And I want really to tell this parliament, we make laws. Can these laws be respected? Can these laws be implemented? Why should we see people being tortured? When we have the Anti-Torture Act, it's clear that there is torture, and this law must actually be implemented. Access to health care is a right that should not actually be denied. And Right Honorable Speaker, arresting people, can we plead? The police, people should be arrested, but with dignity. It hurts me to see people being thrown under those chairs, Madam Speaker, in pickups, under the chairs, irrespective of who you were. Today, as Philip Bongole Rutaya said, it is me. Tomorrow it is someone else. Let us stand up and defend the Constitution, but also point out some of these wrong things that are being done. The people who are torturing are not government, Right Honorable Speaker. These are individuals who must actually be held accountable. So with those few remarks, Right Honorable Speaker, rest in peace. Honorable
members, all of us belong to government. So if you generalize that it is government, then it is you and me and everybody. These are individuals. You get it, eh? I want Honorable Mpuga, Honorable Hassan. There's somebody I want who was very close to say, Honorable Nsanja. Where is Honorable Nsanja? Yes. Don't worry, you're all going to speak. So, honorable members, if I was not sharing, maybe I would be the best person to give an account of update.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to join
honorable members, listen,
and the House in paying tribute to our departed brother and a comrade, the Honorable Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to extend my sympathies and from those of the people of Masaka to the family, the children, and the mother in a special way, because she had this special attachment to his son that I witnessed and touched over time. I thought, Right Honorable Speaker, I would say much here, but then on reflection I thought not necessary anyway. I'm going to just make a few remarks in recognition of the legacy of this gentleman lying before us. We do not choose the time we bow out. It's not in our space. And I have been scanning through the commentary relating to his demise. And you could tell that there's not a single phrase or statement or word that would afford him a befitting epitaph. Probably his life has been a cocktail. It was a short life. We could could not master exactly where his journey would end. But like I said, we don't choose when we bow out. He never chose this. I followed closely on behalf of Parliament. Then as leader of the opposition when he was arrested, I followed him and his brother, the Hon Ssegirinya, through the challenges in prison, falling sick. Ssegirinya, I beg your pardon, Right Honourable Speaker. And the troubles went through to secure clearance of the medical board for his treatment, away from treatment in prison and from within the country. I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the effort. At one stage, the Right Honourable Speaker had to do a money hunt for members of the medical board to convene and clear the treatment of Honourable Ssegirinya. It was tough. It was tough, and we were losing time. We were losing time, and he had to be driven to the tarmac for emergency treatment. Suddenly, his illness and eventual demise exposed our systems. The state system as being weak and porous, incapable of a coherent investigation to give a decent man justice, incapable of a decent prosecution, the entire exercise in which he was being prosecuted tainted with a lot of inconsistency, and you could feel a sense of, revenge and retribution, this whole thing. And for me, that should not be part of our life. I'm glad the Honourable Minister for the Youth has made a commitment. I want to see you follow through that commitment. That, Madam Speaker, I beg your pardon that I make these statements, that the hunting and hounding of the opposition must cease. The Honourable Ssegirinya had so many friends. And I want to thank his friends who stood with him in prison and hospital. Even when he left prison, and some friends were questioning how he was released, yet they knew he was very sick. That for me was inhuman. Secondly, to thank the medical team at Nsambya Hospital, Dr. Sechitoliko and team, Lubaga Hospital, Sister Dr. Grace Nanyondo and the team. They did a great job. And of course, the team at Aga Khan Hospital. I visited Ssegirinya at Aga Khan, and I thought we had lost him. But the mother stayed strong, and the young man called Kasaga, who was taking care of him very closely. I found them desperate. And the doctor at Aga Khan asked me, but can't you manage this in Uganda? And I felt a sense of really shame on my part. Right on the speaker, as I conclude, he's left us. And his departure has exposed the pettiness, the callousness, the emptiness, the insensitivity of politics and politicians, Right Honourable Speaker. And we need to learn from both sides of the House, Right Honourable Speaker. We need to appreciate that our sense of humanness should never disappear regardless of the disagreements that we find ourselves into. What became of our sense of humanity? What became of our Africanness? That with the suffering and the sick should never be exploited, should never be used for politicking, should never be used for, to milk politics and political space. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, while this man was suffering, I'm concluding, we're jostling for his position in Kawempe. What happened to us as politicians? As was ill in hospital. And I made sure all those who are supposed to know get to know. They never visited. They were plotting for his position in Kawempe. This is very callous of politicians. It must stop. We don't choose when we go. Our sense of sensitivity should never get away because one of us is suffering. We must fit for each other. And this I'm saying to both sides of the House. Right Honourable Speaker. To the Honourable Ssegirinya, you fought your battle. You did your bit humbly, with humility, with a little, in terms of exposition, in terms of capacity. We shall escort you not as a villain, but as a victor in these very small spaces in which we struggle to make a difference. Sleep well, my brother.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker,
You'll all speak so long as you keep time.
for this chance to eulogize
2 minutes.
for the loss of our gallant fighter, the Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad. It's a big loss for Ugandans, for the family, and particularly to our party, the National Unity Platform. I condole with our party president, and we really appreciate his efforts in guiding sporting talent of this nature. It's a sad day in our politics, in our party. The government has spoken massively with their absence here. They never liked Ssegirinya when he was alive. And it was going to be surprising if they loved him in his death. Thank you, government, for being honest. Ssegirinya passed away fighting for a cause. And that cause is still here for us who are still surviving. He was an activist, fighting for the well-being of his people, and the people of Kawempe North will be forever happy with the contribution of the Honorable Ssegirinya to that part of Uganda, and in Uganda and in general.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable
Thank you. One thing I should tell you, members, the country has lost Ssegirinya. The country has lost Ssegirinya. Yes, Hajat.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Flavia.
I join colleagues in paying tribute to our colleague. And first, Right Honorable Speaker, I'm surprised that we are not ashamed to come out and brag being part of government, while we know that many times the executive has arrested our people unfairly, while we look on helplessly. Even when we don't believe with them, we just look on helplessly. Right Honorable Speaker, we know members of parliament many times, we give out money to people that approach us. Government trumps up charges against our colleagues just because someone gave money to someone, and then they say he sponsors a killing of people, 50,000 shillings. We should be ashamed to own up such things and say we are part of government, because I know we here do not condone that as parliament. I would like to remind colleagues, probably some of you missed this, that the man lying before here, while he lived, one of his highlights, I'm being quick because of the time, he led a team of people that were mourning loss of a child to a father that had deserted a mother with his child and dropped the body to a father and told him, you deserted the child all his lifetime, now take care of the body. That's the man that is lying here. He associated with people through thick and thin, whatsoever the circumstance that they were. Right Honorable Speaker, this parliament should disassociate itself from the ills of the executive. They arrest people that they know that they are innocent. They only arrested him and incarcerated him just to silence him. They knew he spoke so loudly outside, and they knew how dangerous he would have been if he had been left in parliament. He said we should not say that he's going to rest in peace. He willed we say that he should continue fighting hard. Comrade, fight hard. We shall fight on. We are not going to rest until we secure the victor's crown. Thank you.
One of the friends of Honorable Ssegirinya, Honorable Sanja. I know why I'm saying a friend.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. First of all, Madam Speaker, yesterday when we received disheartening news, on the passing on of our colleague, the Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad. It was very, very unfortunate and so sad. Right, Honorable Speaker, I take the opportunity to thank you so much, together with the Parliamentary Commission, for organizing this special sitting where we are paying tribute to our colleague. Colleagues, death is a fact of life, and when it has come, it has come. We cannot run away from it. But I would want to take this opportunity, maybe because of time, first of all, to extend our heartfelt condolences and sympathies to the bereaved family, to the National Unity Platform, Kawempe North constituents, and also Parliament of Uganda upon the loss of our brother. Madam Speaker, allow me share with you two experiences in Honorable Ssegirinya life. The Honorable, right here, when he came to Parliament, he was surrounded by several petitions in regard to his academic qualifications. And I closely monitored the matter because I was a friend. I want to go on record thanking the office of the LOP, which was occupied.
Switch on.
I want to go on record thanking the office of the Leader of Opposition, occupied by the immediate former Leader of Opposition, the Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga, the office of the Speaker, and the Uganda Caucus, where I am the General Secretary, because indeed we did a lot in regard to keeping Ssegirinya as a member of Parliament here, because then he was surrounded by so many petitions, as I said, in regard to his academic qualifications. But the experience I want to share with you people here is that Ssegirinya, and I want to allude to that fact, he was a bold and courageous person. When he was taken to court in regard to academic qualifications, I, for one, even when the matter related to academic qualification, I did not touch his academic documents. He kept giving excuses until a technicality came up. You remember he was served in Kitaria prisons. And the issue was whether or not service can be done through a prisons officer and not to the person themselves. So together with the lawyers, we confirmed and experienced a fact that is unbelievable, because the issue was on academic ground, but we were moved from that ground to a technicality. That was his boldness. Because the ground was he lacked papers in regard to the requirement for his nomination. But I can tell you, honorable members, the Honorable Ssegirinya here you see was a bold man. I remember thinking he was a comedian until the Secretary General, Councillor Louis Rubongoya, confirmed to me that he was just a brilliant man, because he himself also was following up the matter. Madam Speaker and honorable members, we lose a person who is very courageous to that extent. He has kept in Parliament here. The substantive matter of the petition was not handled, and the matter was decided on a technicality. This is the man lying here. All the grounds, particularly the one of academic, we did not even touch his senior 4, his senior 6, his academic documents. We didn't. He kept telling us, Honorable Sanja, the issue is not the academic ground, the papers. The issue is the technicality. I was in prison when these guys served me. They served the prison's officer and not Ssegirinya. You argue out that. Not papers, not qualifications. Be serious. The other area of experience, Madam Speaker, I would want to share with you, if time allows. When Honorable Ssegirinya got some relief, health relief from the hospital and was discharged, when he came out, he insisted and he kept telling us that he would stand in 2026. Some of us were worried and probably praying for him to finish the term because the health challenges were really very big. But he kept insisting that he would stand and win. When we talked to the family members, they also tried convincing him, look at your health, not the constituents. But Ssegirinya was very bold and very courageous to the extent that he was even thinking about the 2026 election. This is the man. But the last appeal I want to make to the family members here, because usually, and I'm always sincere with myself when I decide to, the people of Kawempe North have been very patient with Honorable Ssegirinya, and indeed he was very appreciative. They never demanded for his representation here, because almost all the time he was in hospital. They never petitioned for whatever reason. Usually in such circumstances, you would find the family sitting where there is a by-election. A family sitting to try and forge a way such that they get a member probably to take on the term and finish this term. For example, I would appeal to the family. I humbly appeal, just in case such a thing comes up, let's be holy and give the people of Kawempe North, as well as Ugandans, to decide their fate on the representation. I thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
God bless.
Honourable Member, thank you. We have a condolence message from the Parliamentary Circle. Enclosed is 1 million shillings from the Parliamentary Circle. I also have a condolence message from the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Thank you. And then in the VIP gallery, we have the former Member of Parliament of Kawempe, Haj Sebagala Latif, who was here with us in the 10th Parliament. Honorable Asumani, Seungu Asuman, Chairman Buganda Caucus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm also in support of the motion. And the time I've been here, at one time, Madam Speaker, a former Attorney General was brought to Parliament.
Honourable members, listen to Honourable Seungu.
Was brought to Parliament to pay tribute, but his body could not access the chambers. I want to thank you very much for that courage you've put in to have Ssegirinya brought here. Motions of this nature, Madam Speaker, always when the leader of government business is moving a motion, normally he gives the cause of death. He will give you the medical history. For example, when you talk about Ssegirinya, what happened when he went to prison up the time he was bailed out. And it's not a surprise. That's why I'm thanking you. Of course, what could the Prime Minister give us here as head of government business? So her absence here is not a challenge on us. Because members of Parliament have been with since we began the 11th Parliament. Ever since these two members were arrested, we have always been together. And honourable members, I want to thank you for that spirit across board. Madam Speaker, I don't know how it happened. My former boss, the leader of opposition, Matthias Mpuga, my boss now, and the chief whip assigned me duties to see how Ssegirinya's papers would be processed. And I did that work very diligently under your guidance. I cannot forget thanking someone, a gentleman called Mr. Arthur Mugabe. Mr. Arthur Mugabe has always been in the opposition. He's among those people who was helping us to move all documents around. the clerk of parliament. The clerk of parliament. I used to call him several times about the challenges and the documents for Hon Ssegirinya. The mother of Ssegirinya, the family, the legal team, Hon Shami Marende, Madam Speaker, is not around. They did a commendable job. Madam Speaker, I remember when I came to your office at the time of the arrest, I cannot...
Madam Speaker, order. We are not comfortable.
You don't switch on the microphone and start talking.
I cannot emphatically say what exactly happened when I came to you, but at least we did good work. I spent all the time, at least every week, I used to visit these people in prison. It was very painful. Ssegirinya was a friend. And the Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad, I don't know where he is the one who made us learn Ssegirinya in the 9th Parliament. Whenever we were traveling out for sports, East African Games, Ssegirinya was moving with the Honorable Ssegirinya. That's how I think he got interested in joining politics and others.
Clerk, whoever is drilling anything must stop. The House is sitting.
Lastly, Madam Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank the ministers who have endeavored to be here. Thank you so much. That's courageous, because this kind of it cuts across. May he so rest in peace. I can't go beyond that.
Thank you. Haji.
I want to thank you, and on behalf of the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus that I chair, I want to extend our deepest condolences to the family, and also to stand in support of the motion. Right Honourable Speaker, I will not claim to know Honourable Ssegirinya so much, but what I can confirm is that we've been together for the last 12 years. When the Honourable Ssegirinya reverted to Islam, he came to my law firm. I am the one who made the deed poll. That made sure he comes from Richard to Muhammad. When he undertook to join political activism, he knew he needed legal rescue. And for all the time, he has had troubles with police and the courts. Even before he came to Parliament with the Honorable Ssegirinya there, they were very good clients in our law firm. Right Honourable Speaker, when the Honourable Ssegirinya wanted to advance his education, because I had lectured in the Islamic University, in the Faculty of Law, it is me who advised him to go and study from IUIU, and even helped to secure for him an admission. And I'm also aware that you've been also contributing to his tuition. But Right Honourable Speaker, how shall we remember the Honourable Ssegirinya? There are two things, and I'm happy that now the Minister for National Guidance is here. The only contribution we can make for the Honourable Ssegirinya is to withdraw all court cases against the remaining accused persons. I know, Right Honourable Speaker, I know that under the law, when an accused person dies, automatically the case will terminate. But remember, he had co-accused. And one of them is our colleague here. And it's really very apparent that up to now, and the others, they I think about 7 or 8, something like that. So the only way we can give justice to Honourable Ssegirinya is to withdraw unconditionally all the charges against the co-accused. Because, as we have said, there is really no evidence against that, and I am glad that the Honourable Minister was here to apologize. Secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, it is also important for us to appreciate where the Honourable Ssegirinya has come from and those who stood with him. When we were in popular resistance against life presidents under the leadership of the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, the Honorable Ssegirinya were the people that were amplifying our voices at that time, because we were opposed to the removal of age limit. Well, you people here, we are saying it should actually go. It was the Ssegirinyas at the time. As Ssegirinya has been my MP, because one of my families, one of my wives and the children stay in Kawempe, and he's been one of my MPs. We've been going to the same mosque in Kawempe and Mbogo. So as a constituent, we've lost a very meaningful, a very contributive member of parliament. And right on, Speaker, we want to thank you for the support that you've given. I am aware of the dynamics that led to bringing this person, Honorable Ssegirinya, here, and we have had to compromise some of the Islamic principles, but I know you stood with the family, and we are really very grateful. And as we usually say, people, Speaker, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, from Allah we came and to him we return. But there is a history, right on, Speaker. And that history, briefly, Allah says, وَبَشِّرُ صَابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا صَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون. Give glad tidings to those who, when they befall such a calamity, remember that from Allah we came and to him we return. So, and I thought as chairman of the Muslim caucus, I would dedicate on that aspect why it is so. I thank you, Reverend Speaker.
Thank you so much. Saba Christo. After Honorable Chivumbi, then we shall have our Saba Christo, the representative of the Catholic.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. For on my own behalf and on the behalf of the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Ssegirinya, up to last month, for all his difficulties, he was subscribing to the organization. Right Honorable Speaker, a lot has been spoken about Honorable Ssegirinya that I don't need to repeat. But Honorable Ssegirinya, Right Honorable Speaker, how did he become an MP? And why is he here? We had just started a young party, barely 5 months. And the party was faced with a difficult choice in Kawempe North. The incumbent MP, my brother, Honorable Latif Sebagala, was also seeking a re-election. The organizing secretary of the party, my brother Sulaiman Chidandala, was also seeking the party ticket. And the humble Ssegirinya. Now the party had a choice to make. But in one of the discussions, and I hope the President will excuse me for doing this, in one, Robert Chagulanyi Ssentamu of the National Unity Platform, in one of the discussions, and I think together with the Secretary General and the leadership of the party, we asked a fundamental question. What is the National Unity Platform for? And what does it represent? And whom does it serve? It boiled down, Right Honorable Speaker, it boiled down that the National Unity Platform was for the downtrodden, for the commonest of people. And we asked, who are the people that represent them? And there was no debate. Honorable Ssegirinya represented what the best of our party represented. And virtue of that, a decision was taken to give him the party ticket. And from that, he became a member of parliament. So we would like to thank the president of the National Unity Platform and the leadership of the National Unity Platform for taking a bold decision that finally gave us Honorable Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, I've known him since he was a young man. And I have known him for many years. 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 And I have kno we trained quite a number of young people. And I think I was asking Asmani Basalirwa whether he attended our training every Saturday, by then at the Democratic Party. So many MPs had gone through that. And that's why the National Unity Platform also is having a school to train young people. And there was an attempt by the authorities that be to close that school. The only way we can have more of the Ssegirinya is to pick them up and train them, mentor them, and give them to the country called Uganda. And we hope to continue doing the same. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, let's be courageous enough. Maybe Ssegirinya, maybe, would have lived longer. Had the authorities, and especially, let's be bold, had the president not intimidated the judiciary. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, General, he bold judiciary to the extent that the judicial officers feared to give bail to Ssegirinya and his likes. Let us speak true to Mr. Museveni. Let us speak true to the powers that be. That what is given in the Constitution cannot be taken away by a declaration. Uganda cannot return to the days of Idi Amin. The attempts now to take away bond, bail, for whatever nature, courtesy of the pronouncements of the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and we must say, enough is enough. Honorable Ssegirinya, rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. I want to where Ssegirinya came from before he came to know. Council Yusuf. Council Yusuf. Yeah, I'll come to Saba Crystal. Council Yusuf. I am going to give you people to speak.
Thank you very much. Right,
when I tell you I know Ssegirinya more than some of you. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. Honorable members, I also condole the family on behalf of the FDC party, where I'm the whip, and where we believe that actually we nurtured and mentored Ssegirinya. Right, Honorable Speaker, as rightly pointed out, we can claim Ssegirinya as opposition. At FDC, Ssegirinya can actually family say passed through our hands. He was part of the young activists who are trained to have a change for the better for this country. And most times you would actually see Ssegirinya behind all pictures where Dr. Besigye was leading that crusade. I can say as Deputy President then, and also the head of the youth, as their patron, Ssegirinya was always very humble and obedient to all instructions of change. Without any pay, he was actually volunteering. And with young men like Walidi, these are people you could just call on and say, please do this, go do this, don't do this. And they were really obedient. So for the country and those seeking for change, it is a very big loss. However, Ssegirinya has not died in vain. All his shortcomings, especially academic, notwithstanding, he was always available for the poor and needy. In fact, when he converted to Islam, I can firmly say to my boss, Honorable Asman, he consulted me and one Haji called Matov in Wandegea. And he said, I want to convert to Islam because this faith is for the poor and needy. I said, that cannot be the only consideration. You should also think about hereafter. I said, no, let me start with that. So when he started that school, he also contacted me through a doctor called Dr. Umar, who is at that hospital opposite the golf course near Fairway. And he said, the little money that I've gotten, I want to put it in this hospital for the poor. So I think, as the right honourable speaker pointed out, we fail to address that. We're all seeking for votes for self-aggrandizement. But you can see a man with a poor background, but thinking about the community. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. On behalf of the FDC, we shall miss him, but we shall carry on with the crusade that he anticipated to see, and we promise change will come.
Francis, then Lucy.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the man lying before us here, the late now Honorable Ssegirinya, it is indeed very painful to the country at large that we've lost such a darling of the people. Honorable Ssegirinya has been a very close friend, very close to me, because there are very many things we have in common. He's an activist, he has been one, and I have been one as well. And I am still one.
And you're still one.
Right Honourable Speaker, it's been unfortunate this morning that still government was unable to stand with Ssegirinya. Because we all believe and know during his political life, especially MPship, it has been persecution from still this government. But I need to beseech the government and still call upon the government that there is still time. You can stand with Honorable Ssegirinya in just two ways. First and foremost, to drop the charges, but most importantly, to bail out all the political prisoners in prisons in Uganda. I've always been, for the 2 years Honorable Ssegirinya and Honorable Ssewanyana spent in prison, I put down all my nice suits, just like one I put on today, and decided to wear free all political prisoners, written on all my clothes for those 2 years. I call upon government to free all political prisoners, but most importantly, to bail them out as they are being tried for us what we call the persecution. That is very simple. But most importantly, General Museveni can still do something very, very, very great to the people of Uganda for this reason. Because Ugandans believe Honorable Ssegirinya died because of Mr. Museveni intimidating the judiciary not to bail out Honorable Ssegirinya. Everyone believes that. So let General Museveni at least this time give Ugandans the most important gift and not stand in 2026. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Honourable members, as we pay our tribute, one thing that we must not forget, that Honourable, just like even the Lord had said, Honourable Ssegirinya had his long illness. Let's not forget that. Maybe there was a lapse somewhere, but he had his long illness. Lucy, then Honorable Kawalia, then I come this side also.
Thank you.
You're going to speak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to pay tribute to a colleague. My deepest condolence to the family. Madam Speaker, I am going to speak on basically two issues. One, what do I learn from this friend of ours? When God gives you an opportunity, use it to the fullest. You don't need 100 years to make a change. And that is exactly what Honorable Muhammad did. Two, I want to repeat the words of the Archbishop Emeritus, John Baptist Odama. On the 14th of December this last year, 2024, when he was celebrating his 50th priestly anniversary in Gulu Cathedral, these were his appeal to the government of Uganda, that please, in the interest of peace in this country, release political prisoners who have been in prison, who have been in remand without proper trial. These were his words. If you go back, you can watch this video. This was an appeal from the man of peace himself. And on that day, he launched a very important book entitled, Stop Fighting, Start Talking. How I wish as a country we would talk more and stop fighting. We would have less death. I know my brother had his I know my brother had an illness, but if he was helped properly, maybe in time he would not be where he is. Personally, I visited Chitalia. I visited some of the political prisoners. I am telling you, if you're not strong-hearted, you will not stay there for long. None of us wants to be there. And I don't pray that any of us ends up there. And what you do for yourself, actually, we should practice what we call self-love. If you don't want it to be done to you, don't do it to somebody else.
Thank you.
As a Catholic, I am proud of my brother. Yes, he converted to Islam. But, Madam Speaker, I am reliably informed.
But the whole family is Catholic.
Yes, that's what I was coming to. He accepted that the rest of the family can maintain. And that is, for me, the spirit of ecumenism and harmony in the family. Thank you so much. May God bless you. And as a Catholic, I think Archangel Michael has just recruited an army man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. In the VIP gallery, we have Honorable Akol Rose Okulo, the member of the East African Legislative Assembly, and she's also my very good voter. Thank you. Honorable Kawalia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
It is still your people speaking. Why did you sit?
I rise to pay tribute to our fallen comrade, whom I got to know in 2007 through activism. We used to share a lot, but again, I also got the opportunity to serve with him at City Hall. When we had just joined in 2016, he was a member of the Standing Committee of Physical Planning, which I was chairing at that time, but it was always fun. We joined KCCA when it had a lot of challenges, most especially when it came to trade order. There's a time when the former executive director of Kampala, then Jennifer Msisi, wanted to send off all the boys who were operating on the streets of Kampala when government had no plan to relocate them. We fought tirelessly with him. For those who remember, that is the period when he committed himself, also turned himself to be a market vendor. He had passion for the common man, no wonder God had to pay him. I want to thank the Almighty God who turned Honorable Ssegirinya from the lowest of the low. We used to share a lot, and we had so many issues in common. One of them is that we had both lost our dear fathers when we were still very young. His commitment to fight for freedom for this country was real. For those who think that Honorable Ssegirinya was a comedian, it is very wrong. He wanted to see a new Uganda. My message goes to government, because we all know what transpired. Honorable Ssegirinya went to prison so many times. He was not charged for theft. He wasn't charged for defilement, but he was always being charged for fighting for the common man. I call upon all leaders in this country, let us try to put our country first, as how Honorable Ssegirinya has always been doing. We are going to miss him, most especially as the people of Kampala. And lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, when we are contesting for KCCA speakership for the first time, I contested with him. But he never had any personal vendetta with me. We stayed friends, and I recall even after the elections, he approached me and told me, okay, you have challenged me, but again, I want to serve on your council. We trusted him with the chairperson of the Public Health Committee, and for those who remember him, he spent almost a month running all places of Kampala, celebrating on how he was being appointed as the chairperson of the Standing Committee of Public Health. We are going to miss you. May your soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Nambose, then we can have Honorable Kinovere, Honorable Macho, Honorable Evander, Propua, then the Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the motion before this House. And I want to appreciate you, Right Honorable Speaker, for appointing this day and time to give Parliament a moment to send off our brother with honor. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here as one of the MPs who has been sick most of this term. And I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for standing with us and making sure that we get treatment both locally and internationally. Right Honorable Speaker, some people think that it is fun to travel for treatment, especially people outside there. As much as we sympathize with other Ugandans who cannot afford to go for specialized treatment outside the country, I want to tell colleagues that it is quite very difficult and very challenging to be seeking treatment outside one's country. In certain areas, you are greatly limited by the fact that not every other locality where you seek treatment that people understand the English. And it is not easy to leave one's family and go camp in another foreign country. People end up mocking us, demonizing us, including colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker. That's why I want to thank you specifically for standing with us. And just one more. Right Honorable Speaker, having said that, I want also to remind this House that we passed money to construct Lubowa Hospital. We had been told that that work would be completed in 2 years. It is now several years after, and Lubowa Hospital still remains a dream. There are so many other Ugandans who lack specialized treatment, but it is very difficult for one to go through the medical council to get the money, and even just the element of getting an airline that accepts to transport a sick person from Uganda. It is very, very difficult to get that airline to accept you to take one when you are sick. Lastly, I want to request your colleagues not to join the president in his quest to abolish bond, police bond, and bail. The presumption of innocence should always remain, because, Madam Speaker, it is so sad when you have to battle a disease while at the same time battling for your freedom. A whole medical doctor from the prisons gave Honorable Ssegirinya a recommendation that if this man is not let out of the prison, he will suffer consequences that will be fatal. It is so sad that even at one time these people were released and then kidnapped back to the prison. I think this is one moment where you people in government should stand up and say sorry. I understand Muslims, when they are going to be buried, they even call those people.
Thank you. Honorable Kinovere.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Chibuku County, on my own behalf, I join my colleagues and the entire country as we pay tribute to our foreign colleague, Honorable Ssegirinya. Honorable Speaker, personally, I knew Honorable Ssegirinya as the moment we joined the 11th Parliament. But initially, I could follow his political issues because he's my area MP in Kawempe, much as I don't represent Kawempe. Speaker, when we came here, Honorable Ssegirinya asked me something. Actually, that day was with Honorable Bashir. He came to me and asked me, Honorable Chinovere, I hear you have a hospital. I want to put up a small hospital for my people. And I was like, isn't this a way of Honorable Ssegirinya, because I've been following you? I said, no, I want to come and visit your hospital. I want to benchmark. I wasn't hesitant. He visited my hospital. When he came to my hospital, he said, no, this is what I want something simple. This is too big for me. But I want something where people can be able to come, get free services. Women can be able to come and get antenatal, because sometimes our government hospitals are congested. He said, no, but you can copy a leave, then you adjust accordingly. I want to thank Honorable Ssegirinya. He went ahead, came up with a very simple facility, just in Chebando here. He even asked me, come and visit my facility. Indeed, I went and visited that facility. I visited that facility in Chebando. It was a very simple setup, fully licensed, with qualified health workers. Just only 1 minute. People who were going to that facility, they were not only opposition, it was about service delivery. So I pray that however the technical person was managing that facility, we should not kill it, let it remain there to serve our people.
Thank you.
Sickness has no border. Honorable Speaker, we continue to pray that may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Macho.
Thank you. Madam Speaker and my colleagues.
We are going to reduce to 1 minute.
Madam Speaker and colleagues, I'll speak in the Busia style. Madam Speaker and colleagues, I join my colleagues and the rest of the country to pay a tribute to the lost hero. Honorable Ssegirinya was a great friend because he had character of the people of Busia border. I would say so because he was a leader who had qualities that voters want. Madam Speaker, you have given me 1 minute, but in Busia, heroes don't die. Honorable Ssegirinya, honorable update. I want you to update God about this situation. That Uganda, we are a country which in this century we are still talking about denying our people bail and bond. Honorable Ssegirinya, the second update to God. Tell him that this is a country which is still taking civilians in military courts. Honorable Ssegirinya, update number 3. Report to God how you have been belonging to a mingled political party which is not organized. Honorable Ssegirinya, lastly, I want you to request God to bless the Speaker and the Commissioners for the support they have given you. And also request God to allow the Speaker to be the second National Vice Chairperson for our party because of her good heart. Lastly, Madam Speaker and my colleagues, words of living people when they are dead must be taken seriously. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, when he was still alive, there are some people he on his grave. Those people are now crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya. Moreover, Ssegirinya, before he died, he told them, you authored a letter saying I am not sick, don't step on my grave.
Let's have order.
The words of Ssegirinya must be taken seriously.
Can you all sit?
Yes. You are for protection. When Honorable Ssegirinya was still sick, there are words he spoke, and I want those words to be respected on his grave. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, there are some people he listed in his party that they should never step on his grave because they ushered a letter saying he's pretending that he is sick. These people should not step on the grave of Ssegirinya because I saw them yesterday, Madam Speaker, when they are crying more. Why are they crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya?
Thank you.
Why are they crying, Madam Speaker?
Honorable
I therefore request the imams who will lead the prayers to ban.
Honorable Banda. Honorable Banda. Honorable Banda, I will give you some akula.
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. And on behalf of people of Untoroko and Rwenzori region, I also join colleagues in paying tribute to our fallen comrade, Honorable Ssegirinya. The Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you in a special way for standing with your members. You are a very exceptional leader I've seen in this country. May God bless you.
Amen.
And two, the Right Honorable Speaker,
can we have
I joined Parliament. I was in the 10th Parliament. Thank God that now I'm in the 11th Parliament. When I met Honorable Ssegirinya, the man is humble, respectful. I didn't know about it because I used to see him on TV. I knew that he's chaotic. But when I met him here, the man was humble, respectful. You can't believe that was Ssegirinya we used to see on TV. So it means the man lived a humble life, sense of humor, which really I call upon all of us as members of Parliament to be humble.
And down to earth.
And down to earth. And two, constructing or setting up a health facility. The Honorable Speaker, some colleagues give reasons that I'm a first time in Parliament, haven't known what to do. But Honorable Ssegirinya proved that statement wrong. That within few months in Parliament, he had to do something that was very impactful to his people. And lastly, it's about women. The Right Honorable Speaker, in this country, women are really suffering. Many families are being led now by women. Even in my constituencies, I've focused more on women because women are taking the burden. So focusing on women, empowering women was the way to go. And lastly, the Right Honorable Speaker, despite our political differences, but we are one family. We are one people. We should never at one time see each other as enemies. For me, in this parliament, even the opposition, we are brothers, we are sisters. Never at one time shall we look at each other as enemies, because we are Ugandans, we are leaders, we have one family parliament. I wish my colleague, the comrade.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, because of the way we work in parliament, yesterday, when you didn't see the leader of opposition, I deployed the leader of opposition whole day in Zambia. I mean in Rubaga. So somebody will say, why was the leader of opposition not there when they are passing the national budget, national development plan? But it's because it was deployed. I have had those sentiments. Yes, Propua.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, as we send our condolences to the family, the party leaders of where Honorable Ssegirinya belonged.
Propua is Honorable Tinka Simire Barnabas.
We are here with a heavy heart about the death of our colleague, Honorable Ssegirinya. Honorable Ssegirinya, we met in Chevando, where I do some business, and he was consulting. I love your style of leadership as a member of parliament, belonging to a party, and you are able to tell them the truth. And he said, I want to join you. I told him that you are most welcome, but you have to do ABCD. I told him you have to prepare yourself to actually be that member of parliament who will not be compromised when you come in parliament. And we agreed that he could start as a councillor at KCCA, get some money to support himself, such that when he is on the floor, when he joins parliament, he's a bit decent, not to rush for this money, you know, the money that I'm talking about, and such that you can survive that blackmail. I am very, very happy that what we discussed from my business place in Chevando is what exactly Honorable Ssegirinya did. He came to parliament with a vision of looking at the poor people. Allow me to another minute to eulogize a leader that we share the vision. He belonged to the opposition, but he shared the vision that I share of looking at the ordinary person. And indeed, he demonstrated it even when he was in opposition. Right Honorable Speaker, I am saddened that he is dying in the crossfire of intolerant politics, where he would have received medical attention and he was denied bail, even when he cried that he should be allowed to go for treatment. That's very, very sad. Even when we say he has not been killed, in law there is a principle, thin sick principle, where you must explain somebody who is weak when he disappears in your hands. And this is what has happened to Muhammad, and the community is asking us as government, could we not have done better? I know, Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament did their best, but you did it too late, because this man required that treatment at the right time. It was too much already on him that you were just now literally like wasting resources because the time had run out. I will pray going forward that government should be sensitive on the rights of people they have sent on remand. If they seek bail to go for treatment, they must know that bail is part of Article 28
Switch on.
Of fair hearing. Because if I am in custody of police, I am on remand in prisons, it does not take away my right to defend myself. And it is during that bail time that I can prepare my defense. Now we have Dr. Kizza Besigye in prison. How many times is this government going to imprison Dr. Kizza Besigye? Have we not had enough of imprisoning Dr. Kizza Besigye? If he died in prison, what would we explain to this country? What would we explain to this country? Why can't we produce him in courts where it's supposed to be produced? There are several constitutional rulings, even to the Supreme Court level, requiring that civilians should be tried in military, in civil courts. Why is he still being tried in the military court? This type of torture to receive coffins of Ugandans is not the type of politics that I would want to practice when I'm a member of parliament of the ruling party. I want to engage and win an election, not by military institutions and coercion.
Thank you, Aleper.
May you rest in eternal peace. Ssegirinya.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for affording me this opportunity to pay tribute to the late Honorable Ssegirinya. Many people have spoken about how they came to know him, and personally, the closest I came to know him is through the video excerpts I watched when we were migrating from analog. That's the time I saw someone passing his message. He didn't care whether the English was not fluent. He would pass the message and everyone would really pick it. And I think that's what we require. Sometimes we really feel we must package the information we want to pass in a specific way. But what matters is if the other side of the communication platform can get it. That's the closest I got to it. Everyone has spoken that actually the time he spent in Parliament was so short. But probably and most likely, he has done a lot more than most of us here for their constituency. He has really. You can show the litany of achievements that have been narrated. And I think that's something that's so commendable that we should appreciate of him. But I want to say most importantly, we are here as representatives of the people, representing people with our parties. But I think the most important thing that we are humans, and our service delivery is the humanity. And I think Honorable Ssegirinya has done this. He has done service to humanity, given the short time. It is not the time that we spend in a place that matters. It's the best that we can do, which I think he has done. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Sechi, Uda, Bunyoro, Imam. Minister, you'll speak last.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I rise to pay my condolences to the family of the late Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, the relatives, friends, and colleagues, members of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker and members, we yet stand here under very, very difficult circumstances of paying tribute to a honorable member of Parliament who walked to this house and was sworn in but has not served even one term to its completion. It is sad. And to me, I'm looking at the circumstances that has led to his demise. Right Honorable Speaker and members, it isn't the late Honorable Ssegirinya in these circumstances alone, but all of us are potential detainees, all of us. I know for sure I was supposed to have been arrested on the 13th of December last year. under framed up charges. They are strong people in this country, had written a report and submitted it to the president, accusing me of murder, accusing me of land grabbing, and all sorts of things. And there is a private secretary to the president, one Susan Kasinje, whom the president had invited us to attend that meeting in State House. But he excluded me and allowed my accusers to be before the president. And they made their case. And they went through their channels to write reports, say, Your Excellency, we are waiting your orders. But fortunately, the president thought twice. He sent another set of investigators and the CID headquarters, where I would have been arrested for murder. Not one person, but 3 persons. And all that. But the point I'm trying to raise is that the state is a leviathan, huge, with many actors. The president comes in, being the one on top, and who really, in the circumstances, bears responsibility. But in most cases, there are those who work behind the scenes, and they write such reports, and they frame up people, innocent people, like we have the Ssegirinya. Why must the arresting officers and the prosecution arrest, then start investigations? Ideally, why don't you investigate, have a case, and then you arrest so that the accused can have his day in court or her day in court? And this we are failing. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, the profile of Uganda as a country is going down because of such incidents. It is. And why on earth, what is Dr. Besigye doing in those military cells? These are the issues. Must we have another person to die under these circumstances? Why are we doing so badly, Madam Speaker and members? I think these should be learning experiences. That's why, with a sad heart, I shouldn't be standing here. Probably I would also be in very similar circumstances. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, yes, death is a must. But his must have been exacerbated by his long stay on remand in jail. And even the judiciary abandoned its cardinal mission of being the temple of justice. We must check all ourselves. Those agencies within government who write and give fake reports and end up embarrassing the president, and then end up embarrassing government and embarrassing all of us. Because for the last 2 years, when they were in detention, why didn't the state adduce evidence and have them produced before courts of law? And also, I want to agree with Honorable Nambozi, this tinkering with the constitution on provisions that are critical to Ugandans. Why must you remove bail, yet you know the investigative machinery of the country is still nascent? It isn't solid. Why must you move against the bond in a country where the state institutions and apparatus are still fragile? So I think we need to take caution as members of parliament. We are not doing, internationally, we are not doing well. Our rating is going down, and now culminating into the abduction of Besigye. He's now being tried in Makindye. We can't find the way out. Looking at Dr. Besigye behind bars with his big eyes, you can't look at the photos again. It is a disgrace to this.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members. In the VIP gallery, we have Honorable Muyanja Senyonga. You're most welcome. Thank you for coming. We also have a condolence message to the family of the late Ssegirinya from the parliamentary pension scheme, and enclosed is 2 million shillings. We'll pass on the document, and Honorable Aisha, you will make sure that this money is delivered, since you're a member of the pension. And then we also have a condolence message to the family of Honorable Diri Babadiri Margaret. Also enclosed is 2 million shillings. This money should be rerouted to the family. I had the Honorable Uda.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I want to join members to pay tribute to late Muhammad. Right Honorable Speaker, I didn't really come closely to late Muhammad, but I just know him in social media. In this house, we are more than 500 people now. But because Honorable Ssegirinya was very active, almost all the members of parliament know him. While we have stayed here for 4 years, we still don't know ourselves, each other. But because he was very active, he made sure that everybody knows him. And really that is his contribution. Some of us will finish the 5 years here. You get in the streets and you don't know each other and you pass by. But nobody could do that one for Honorable Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, the faith I subscribe to, that is Islam, strongly believes that you only die when it is your day. And it also says that when God designed that human beings would die, he directed angel Gabriel that you will be the one to get off the spirit from the person. But when Gabriel feared, he said, how will I do it? He said, I will help you to do it. And he has arranged it, like the one for Ssegirinya. He arranged it that time will come, you will pass. But for me to believe that you have passed because you overstayed in jail, then the opportunity of the right, I will make sure that you remain in the jail. Then Gabriel will come and take the spirit. Then people will say you died because of this. But if you are a believer, you will know that it is the time. That's why we have passed. And for us, that is it. Unless you are not a Muslim. There are Muslims here who will support what I'm saying. But if you are not a Muslim, then please keep quiet. Allow the Muslims to talk. Right Honorable Speaker, for us as Muslims, when somebody passes, there are rituals that we must follow. And one of them is the respect that you give for the person who died. There are prayers that we must do. There are even a guidance of how you acknowledge the person who passes. So that when you talk, you also get a thwab, and the person you talk for also get a thwab. Now this is what we are supposed to do for our brother here. He has suffered with the sickness for long, but now we must do all these rituals, like the prayers that we must do, and we must continue to pray that even if he had his shortcomings, we ask God to forgive him and give him a Jannah, because that's all where we are going to. My brother Muhammad, may you rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Bunyoro Affairs.
Right
Imam.
Honorable Speaker, and mourn for our own friend. We should be given an opportunity to mourn.
Can you sit?
Just
He's
because
a
you
member
don't
of parliament. He's a member of parliament of this house.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Chibuku, whom I represent in this house, and the people of Bunyoro, where I'm deployed as a minister. I bring my condolences, especially to you, Right Honorable Speaker, the House, Mama Ssegirinya and the family, the people of Kawempe North. It's very, very unfortunate that we are losing a younger person.
I pity when some people start behaving funny on a special sitting. I really pity. This Honorable Ssegirinya belongs to this house, not to a party. When you're in the house here, and I am balancing the sides. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker.
By the way, I have the power even to adjourn the house. Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya is one of the people I admired. He was a very courageous person. One time I saw Honorable Ssegirinya when a younger lady lost a baby and the purported father was refusing to bury that child. Honorable Ssegirinya carried a dead child in a coffin on his head and looked for that man. To bury the child. That kind of courage is rare. But also, Honorable Ssegirinya was a serious mobilizer. Even in his constituency, he loved his voters. You remember when he offered that every woman that delivers was entitled to offers. But also building a health facility. Colleagues, you all remember, or you know, service delivery in terms of health provision is not cheap. For one to build a facility, buy drugs,
let's be brief, we are
pay the medical workers is not easy. So I salute Honorable Ssegirinya. It's a big loss to the country. May God sustain the bereaved family.
Thank you. Honorable Imam of the Mosque, Honorable Mpindi, Mitiana, Gorete, and then Semakula.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
But I thought you're on one side. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to add my voice to the rest of the members and condole with the family and the people of Kawempe North constituency for the demise of our brother, the late Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya. As the Imam of the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus, we have lost a committed and dedicated brother whom we thought would interact with and contribute a lot to the act. But we thank Allah that gave him this time on earth and for all that he has managed to do while alive. Right Honorable Speaker, death is a menu that everybody will taste, regardless of status, whether member of parliament, whether common man outside there, everybody will have to taste that menu. And whoever wishes death for others, just to know that at any time it will knock on your door.
Thank you.
I had an opportunity, Right Honorable Speaker, during COVID. I visited the two people in Kigo prison as the Imam, and I had an interaction of about an hour. What surprised me was that even at that time, when he was in prison, he unveiled to me a detailed plan of his dream that he wanted to implement in his constituency. I was so surprised that someone who was in prison, who was thinking so much about the people in his constituency. That means he had a lot of passion for the people he was serving. Nevertheless, even when he was released,
Honorable members, 1 minute.
His health had deteriorated and he would not implement that plan. May the Almighty Allah May the Almighty Allah pardon him for his shortcomings and give him
Thank you.
Jannah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, being a resident of Kawempe, I have a lot to talk about Ssegirinya. But you have given me 1 minute, and I want to use it in just two things. One, members have submitted, but Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya has a family. And as you've heard, his family is not doing well. He has left children, and we are almost concluding the debate without devising means of helping the family, the children. I want to propose that as we pass the resolution, we include a clause that this Parliament find means of helping the children of the Honorable Ssegirinya. That is one. And then two, I know as members of Parliament we have a norm of contributing to members who have died. I pray that as members of Parliament, each of us contribute 500,000 and we get some money to support the family, especially the wives of Honorable Ssegirinya, to take on the mantle that Ssegirinya was taking on. The children of Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, for me, if that is done, I will be a very happy man. I saw...
Can you conclude?
Right Honorable Speaker, the clerk was taking your attention, but my proposal, we contribute either 500, one member is telling me 1 million, 500 each member.
You know, when we pass a resolution here to contribute for Honorable Jacob, you are the same people. You are the same people who went in the streets, who started bashing the speaker, who started doing the what. My proposal is, let's contribute personally. Let's contribute. For me, I can take up one kid and educate one kid in my school. After this, look for me and I will take up one kid. Ssegirinya, where is Ssegirinya? In which class? Exactly. I will pay your fees and I will take you to my school for secondary.
Right, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
thank you so much. And I want to conclude by thanking you for what you've done to Honorable Ssegirinya and what you've done to members of Parliament without discriminating the political belief, the size, the constituency. Thank you so much. Thank you, and may you reign forever.
Amen.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Goreti Semakula.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to first of all appreciate Ssegirinya mother and his brother, Kasaga, because, Right Honorable Speaker, when someone faces challenges, many times even your family can abandon you. Ssegirinya and the Honorable Sewanyana were incarcerated. I went to Masaka where they were brought to court. I went to Luzira. I went to Chigo. He began to be sick, and I went to Nsambia. I went to Nairobi and Lubaga. And those two were constant. Thank you so much for being there for Honorable Ssegirinya. Right Honorable Speaker, I met Ssegirinya when I was still a journalist. And this is what I wanted to say about Ssegirinya. The Honorable Ssegirinya was very authentic. He was real. He was genuine. He was honest. Even in times of his need. Because when I met him, he used to call on radio stations as Dobozire Chebando. And one time when I was doing a story about those radiophone callers, I spoke to him, I spoke to Makolo Kavuma and Dubachoya. And he was demonstrating to me about what they used to do to get through, because I was asking them, how come you people are so constant on the radio stations? And he showed me about 8 phones. He would call at the same time, whichever went through first, he would speak. That was Ssegirinya. Then, I remember the time he used to be with Dr. Kizza Besigye. In fact, it's very sad that Colonel Kizza Besigye is in prison because Ssegirinya was always with Colonel Kizza Besigye. And then he would come to me. At a certain point, I was an editor of a TV station. So he would come to me and beg. And kindly, let me finish.
Honorable members, we have run out of time because the body must go for Juma prayers.
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I take this opportunity to appreciate you, your office, the office of the Leader of Opposition.
That is the seismate, yes.
And all honorable colleagues, members of Parliament, for standing with the Honorable Ssegirinya during this moment.
Thank you.
Every one of you has appreciated the works of Honorable Ssegirinya. But I want to remind you that that is the responsibility of government. Right Honorable Speaker, we should put appropriate resources in the area of medical. He has bought CT scans. That is not our responsibility. This is why we are suffering out there. That is social corporate responsibility that you should do at leisure. So government should take on its responsibility of doing basic services to this government. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Semakula, Honorable Minister.
Dear women within Parliament and outside there, we
Ladies.
appreciate you.
Ladies.
Basing on what the mother of Honorable Ssegirinya, the late Honorable Ssegirinya, has done. In the Holy Book of the Bible, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it is written, there is time for everything. There is time to be born and time to die. There is time to be happy and a time to be sad. However, my special message goes to the judiciary. Dear our land friends, where did your Ubuntu go? In Uganda, we know bail is not a privilege. It is a right. But these days we hear you are working under decrees. Where did your Ubuntu go? Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, we appreciate all you give to members, all whatever you give to members of Parliament. But however, as we Parliament, we should work for free medical insurance for every Ugandan, regardless of your status. May your soul rest eternal peace.
Flavia, then Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Honorable, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Flavia, your minute is going.
Thank you. Sincere condolences to the family of the Right Honorable Ssegirinya. May God rest his soul in peace. I really want to bring to light two scenarios that particularly caught my attention. One was for the mother of Honorable Ssegirinya, when she wailed in court at some point when Honorable Ssegirinya exposed his foot that had been tortured in court and was requesting to be released so that he could go and get medication. The mother wailed loudly in court, unfortunately, pleading to the magistrate to release her son so that she could go for. Unfortunately, he was never released. A second scenario was when the mother wept, crying, coming to Parliament to ask the Speaker and to ask members of Parliament to intercede so that her son could be released.
Thank you.
Those two scenarios come to light, and I want to ask the people that are watching us right now, eulogize Honorable Ssegirinya, what they think about the children of Honorable Ssegirinya and the parents of Honorable Ssegirinya. Had they been in the position of those two, what would they have done? Where do they think their kids are going to go? How do they think their kids are going to look at the children of the tortured Ssegirinyas children? Which country are we passing on, and are we passing on to our children? Honorable Ssegirinya, fight hard. May your soul rest in peace.
Thank
you very much.
Honorable Minister. You people, I don't want to get a curse when the body is not prayed for.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable members. I rise to support the motion to pay tribute to our foreign colleague. And on behalf of the people of Chinchiz East, I convey condolences to the family, the mother, and the family of Ssegirinya, Honorable, to you, the Speaker of Parliament, and all members of Parliament, because this is our colleague, to the members of the National Unity Platform Party where he belonged, and the entire opposition, and the people of Kawempe North, whom he represented in this House. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya made his name through activism, and many of us knew him before coming to Parliament, because he was very active in the public space, and people would always say, that man might end up in the Parliament, as if he should not be in the Parliament, and indeed he came to the House. When he came to the House, he was a member of Parliament who reached out to anybody and everybody, irrespective of where you stood. For instance, he approached me and said, Honorable Baryomus, I know you from the public. I have a wife who hails from your constituency in the village of Kambuga. So I am your in-law. And yes, and we began relating as such. So we, the people of Kanungu, he was our son-in-law. He's our son-in-law, and we have lost our son. I think there are many lessons that we draw from the life of the Honorable Ssegirinya, that you can rise from a humble background and rise to any position as long as you know what you want. Because he rose through political and media activism and became a member of Parliament. I would also like to salute him for his spirit of altruism, concern for the others, because as we heard from the many eulogies and as we knew him, even when he served as a member of Parliament for a short time, but he was on the ground trying to address the concerns of the people of his constituency, and we salute him for that. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ssegirinya had an incurable medical illness even before he came to Parliament. And indeed, even before we were sworn in, he fell sick, and I think he was even hospitalized. So he came to the House when he was sick. It was unfortunate that he was imprisoned together with the Honorable Ssegirinya, Sewanyana, rather. And I remember even his long time on remand concerned some of us. I think this is the Honorable Sarigwa or Muhammad Chivumbi, where we discussed it at some point. I also know that being in prison, it depressed him so much that at one point he even refused to take medication until when we had to come in and counsel him as a medical doctor. So we're in touch with him, and we really feel sorry that he has died when he had not accomplished his assignment as a member of Parliament for the five years. Madam Speaker, allow me to make comments on some of the issues which have been raised in this debate. Many of them, I think we have time and space as members of Parliament to debate them, the nature of politics, human rights, all these issues. We have time to discuss them as members of Parliament, but probably allow me to speak on two issues, bail and bond. The President, the President, Yoweri Museveni, has an opinion that maybe bail should be denied on some offenses, as an opinion. But that opinion, I have heard him say, I will engage the Chief Justice to see whether maybe there can be practice directives or what. But this has not been translated into law.
Honorable members, let's listen. An opinion is not law.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm saying. You had your time to speak, I am now speaking. You see, the problem, Madam Speaker, that we have in this country is intolerance. We should be able to listen to each other. My view may not be the same as yours, but you should give me a chance to say what I want to say. And as we move forward, Madam Speaker, we should, as members of Parliament and political leaders, promote that culture of tolerance even when our views are different. So on that issue of bail, it's an opinion that he has been holding, but if it was to be so at the end, it will come here, either through amendment of the Constitution or the laws. And I don't think any judicial officer currently is intimidated to fail to make a decision, because the law still gives judicial officers discretion to decide on matters of bail when cases are before them. So a judicial officer worth his name should be able to make a judgment, make a decision depending on the case before him or her. And I'm sure the lawyers in this House agree. The other issue that has been raised is that maybe government and judiciary should consider maybe dropping charges against the Honorable, the co-accused, Honorable Sewanyana and the co-accused.
I think that is something that we should discuss later.
Yes.
On the issues of political prisoners.
Nothing useful
to
say.
That's what I'm saying. We take note of that request.
Take your seat, sir.
You know,
Doctor, you finish? Switch on.
I will convey this to the Attorney General to have an engagement with the judiciary. We have taken note of that concern raised by the members of Parliament.
I think we should also have a date when we shall discuss the issue of the political prisoners.
Okay.
Let's have a date. And
we shall have a debate on even whether that terminology is correct of political prisoners. But that will be for another day. Lastly, Madam Speaker, like I said, the Honorable Ssegirinya had a wife from my constituency. I am not very sure of the children the wife has, but I also, as a member of Parliament for Chinchills East, take up one of the children.
Thank you.
Support the child for his or her education.
Thank you.
I thank you very much. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, Honorable Ssegirinya has fought a good fight, and Ssegirinya Muhammad, Mr. Update, he has served humanity. He has been there for everybody, and he rose from grace to grace. If he tells you how he came from Masaka, how he boarded a Matoke truck, you will not believe it. Ssegirinya has come from very far, but we must thank God that he at least achieved what he wanted. And his humility speaks volumes. How we could learn, if we could learn something from the late Ssegirinya, it would make a change in all of us. When you hear that within those few months that he made an impact in Kawempe, he made an impact in his community, he made an impact in this country, then you must learn something. I want to put a question. Yes. Honorable members, and you're Muslim. You are the same person who is going to blame me for delaying with the body here.
Right, Honorable Speaker, that swallow for janais is performed as long as the body has come anytime. So it is not delayed. May I make the amendment, ma'am? May I make the amendment, ma'am?
Yes.
May I
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Well, Right Honorable Speaker, I sincerely appreciate your concern that when you persuaded members to contribute, we spoke in tongues outside. Well, I appreciate that.
Actually, attacking me.
Yes, I appreciate your concern, and it's regrettable. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya has served here 4 years. The difference between him and the Right Honorable Olanya is that he had served here for several years, and therefore his package was big as a person. And as a Right Honorable Speaker, he also had an entitlement as a fallen Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Ssegirinya has only been here for 4 years, did not even have time to invest for his family. You can imagine the burden that the family is going to have. I've calculated, Right Honorable Speaker, if each one of us here sacrificed only 300,000 shillings, the family would collect 150 million shillings, which is good enough for them to be able to invest. I therefore would like to persuade my colleagues that we amend the motion to include that members of Parliament, each one of them, of us, contributes 300,000 shillings as a package to help the family of Honorable Ssegirinya. I submit.
Honorable members, is that seconded? No, you sit. 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 I want secondment from this side. Seconded by Honorable Badiomusi, by Honorable Bahati, by the Imam, by Ibanda, by Bunyora Fayaz, by Honorable Uda, Honorable Balam, Honorable Gabriel, Honorable Minister Okasai, Rose, by the whole NRM side. So we are making a motion, and the clerk should take note of this. Okay, I want to see those from this side also. Yes, I want to see the leader of opposition, the cow. Honorable Duru is not supporting. You better convince Honorable Duru to support, because I don't want to be taken to court. Supported by Hassan, by Honorable Chivumbi, by Honorable Asumani, by Honorable Abudu, by Honorable Seungu, by Honorable Elijah, Honorable Zake, Hildaman, Ethel, Madam Teacher, by the whole opposition. We are amending that one and all the independents. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I concede to the amendment.
Thank you. Those in favor of the amendment say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. I now put a question that that Parliament pays a glowing tribute to the late Honorable Ssegirinya Muhammad, a former member of Parliament of Kawempe Division North, and the tribute with amendment of payment of 300,000 per deduction per member of Parliament, as passed in the resolution here. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Anthems in reverse order. May we please rise? remain standing as the casket leaves the chamber. You may resume your seats.
Honorable members, the parliamentary Muslim community would want to say a prayer for 1 minute outside there. We'll now adjourn the house, and I will request that only the sectoral committees will be sitting during this period, and we adjourn the house to 21st January.